After 200,000 miles, the cheapest Ram engine to own was the one that drank the most fuel. I added up the receipts 3 times because I didn't believe it either. I'm Buck, 12 years a Mopar dealer tech. Let's settle it. Here's how I'm counting. Real cost is 4 things: what you paid extra to get the engine, what you spent keeping it alive, what you burned in fuel, and what the big repairs took out of you. Add all 4 over 200,000 miles and you get the truth. Most guys only count one of those. Let's start with the gas engine. The 5.7 HEMI. This is the baseline, and it's the cheapest way into a Ram, period. No diesel premium at the dealer. That head start is thousands of dollars. Money the diesel buyer has to claw back at the pump before he's even with you, and he's starting the race behind. Put a number on that head start. A diesel buyer is climbing out of a $4,000, $5,000, even $10,000 hole before he saves his first dollar at the pump. The HEMI man starts at 0. That money's already in your pocket the day you drive off, and it stays there. Maintenance is where this engine quietly wins and nobody notices. 7 quarts of oil and a filter and you're done. $50 to $80, and any shop on any corner or you in your own driveway can knock it out in 20 minutes. There's no DEF fluid to buy. No diesel fuel filters at $200 a service. No DPF to worry about. No emissions plumbing waiting to strand you. Spark plugs, fluids, brakes, all common parts on every shelf in America. Now I'll be straight with you on one thing most people skip. The HEMI runs 2 spark plugs per cylinder, 16 in all, and the back 4 are a pain to reach, so a full plug job can run you $500 to $800 at a shop. More if you let a chain place do it. It's not constant. The iridium plugs go 100,000 miles, but budget for it once or twice in the life of the truck so it doesn't surprise you. Over 200,000 miles, you're looking at maybe 25 oil changes at $60 a pop. That's under $2,000 in oil service for the life of the engine. Try to get a diesel that cheap. Think about what that adds up to across 200,000 miles. 25 oil changes at pocket change prices. No DEF fluid to buy by the jug. No $200 diesel fuel filters. No DPF to clean. No emissions sensors to strand you. Every routine thing this engine needs, the guy down the street can do in his driveway with parts off any shelf. That's not a small line on the ledger. Over the life of the truck, it's the biggest quiet advantage the HEMI has. Where it costs you is fuel, and I'm not going to soften it. This is the thirstiest of the 3. Figure mid-teens to 17 miles a gallon in real life. Worse if you tow. Over 200,000 miles, that's the biggest fuel bill in this comparison by a wide margin. And there's one repair to respect: the lifter and cam job, if the oil ever got neglected. $3,200 to $5,000. Now, that's not guaranteed. A HEMI that got clean oil on time may never see it, but you should budget for the possibility, because pretending it doesn't exist is how people get blindsided. Let me put honest money on it. Say it averages 15-16 miles a gallon against a diesel doing high 20s. Over 200,000 miles, that gap in fuel is real. You could be looking at several $1,000s more in gas over the life of the truck. I'm not going to pretend that away. The HEMI drinks, and you pay for it every fill-up. The question this whole video asks is whether the diesel ever earns that difference back. And that's where it gets interesting. I had an owner bring me a HEMI at 220,000 miles who'd kept every receipt in a shoebox. I've added up the receipts on plenty of these, but his was the cleanest record I've seen. Oil changes, brakes, a water pump, a set of plugs, 1 alternator. Outside of fuel, he was under $4,000 in maintenance and repairs across the whole life of that engine. He never needed the cam job. That's the HEMI when it's respected. His whole cost of ownership, engine-wise, over 220,000 miles, came down to oil, plugs, a water pump, and a set of coils. That was it. No emissions work because there wasn't any to do. He spent more on gas than a diesel man would have, and still came out cheaper overall because he never wrote a single big check. That's the HEMI story in one truck. So the HEMI's running picture to 200,000, lowest buy-in by thousands, roughly 2,000 in oil service, cheap common repairs, no emissions bills ever, the highest fuel spend of the 3, and one repair to watch that may or may not come. Predictable. That's the word for this engine. You always know roughly what it's going to cost you. And that lifter job, the one repair to respect, isn't a guarantee. Keep the oil clean, and a lot of these never see it. Neglect it, and you might. So I budget for the possibility, not the certainty. Even if you pencil it in, the HEMI's total still comes in low, because everything else it needs is so cheap. That's the number to beat. Before I get into the diesels, hit subscribe, and drop a comment below telling me which engine you run and what it's actually cost you to keep. Real numbers. I read every one. Now the 3-liter EcoDiesel, the fuel saver, and the one with a bill hiding in it. Start with what you pay to get it. The premium over a gas truck runs somewhere around $4,000 to $5,000. That's the bet. You're wagering that number against the pump, and you need to win it back before you've gained a dime. That's money you're loaning the truck against future fuel savings. The clock starts the day you buy it, and the diesel has to pay you back that premium before it's even with the gas truck, let alone ahead. And here's where I give this engine full credit, because it earns it. The fuel numbers are genuinely excellent, the best in this comparison, no argument. EPA rates it around 29 on the highway, and real-world owners see high 20s. Against a HEMI doing 16, that's a real gap. Over 200,000 miles, that difference in gallons burned is thousands of dollars in your pocket. Anybody who tells you the EcoDiesel doesn't save fuel is lying to you. It does. That part is real money. This is the mileage champ of the three. No argument. High 20s on the highway. Real world. And if you run a lot of steady highway miles, it genuinely saves you money, tank after tank. A man who commutes long and easy can bank real fuel savings with this engine. I've seen the fuel logs and they're legitimate. If fuel were the only number that mattered, the EcoDiesel would walk away with this video. But fuel is one number out of 4. The problem is what it takes back with the other hand. Maintenance on this engine is nearly double the gas truck, and it never lets up. A dealer oil change on one of these runs around $240. That's what owners are actually paying, not a scare number. A fuel filter service runs around $215. Compare that to $40 to $70 for the HEMI. Then add DEF fluid you're buying regularly, the DPF that has to regenerate and eventually clogs, and the emissions sensors that drop you into limp mode on the side of the highway when one of them decides it's done. Every one of those is a bill the gas owner never sees. Run that out over 200,000 miles, and the maintenance side alone can eat most of what you saved at the pump. Real owners report a dealer oil change on one of these running around $240, and a fuel filter service around $215. I've seen the receipts. Compare that to $40 to $70 for the HEMI. Then stack on the DEF fluid, the DPF, the emissions sensors, and the fact that when one of those sensors quits, it can drop you into limp mode and a tow. Every service interval costs more, and there are more things in the system that can leave you sitting on the shoulder. Across 200,000 miles, that maintenance gap alone eats a big chunk of what you saved on fuel. And then there's the one that can end the whole conversation. The Bosch CP 4.2 high-pressure fuel pump. When that pump fails, it doesn't just quit. It grinds itself up and pushes metal through your entire fuel system. Pump, injectors, rails, lines, sometimes the tank. $8,000 to $15,000 on a truck that may be worth less than the repair. There were recalls, but I've seen failures land on trucks the recall never touched. Stack on the EGR cooler recall, the fire risk one, and the weak bottom ends on the 2014 and 15 trucks, and you've got real exposure. One of those events and every gallon you ever saved is gone, plus years of savings you hadn't earned yet. $8,000 to $15,000 to make right. Pump, injectors, rails, lines, sometimes the tank, and on a high-mileage half-ton that's often more than the truck is worth. There were recalls, but failures land on trucks outside the covered VINs. Add the EGR cooler that got recalled for a fire risk, and the 2014 and 15 bottom ends that were weak from the factory. Any one of those, and every gallon you ever saved is gone, plus years of it. That's the bill hiding behind the good fuel number. I had a fellow come in proud of his fuel log. He'd been tracking every tank for 6 years, and he'd genuinely saved real money against a gas truck. Then his pump went. That one repair erased 6 years of fuel logs in an afternoon. He wasn't careless, he was unlucky. He'd saved, by his own math, close to $6,000 in fuel over those 6 years. Proud of it, and he'd earned it. Then the fuel pump let go. The repair quote was more than double every dollar that Log had saved him. He didn't fix it. He sold it as is and took the loss. His fuel savings were real, right up until the moment they weren't. That's the EcoDiesel gamble in one man's spreadsheet. So the EcoDiesel's real cost picture, best fuel number and real savings, the highest maintenance of the three eating most of it back, and a catastrophic repair hanging over the whole thing. Kept perfectly, every recall done, it can pencil out to about even. Get unlucky once, and it's far and away the most expensive engine here. It's the least predictable cost on the lot. Now the 6.7 Cummins, the expensive one, and the one that's worth it for the right man. The buy-in is the steepest here. Figure $9,000 to $12,000 over a comparable gas truck. That is a deep hole, and I'll tell you straight, you will not climb out of it on fuel savings alone. Not in 200,000 miles of normal driving. Anybody who tells you the diesel pays for itself in commuting is selling something. That's the deepest hole of the three to climb out of. On fuel savings alone, a light-duty commuter will die of old age before he earns that back. This engine only makes cost sense if you're asking it to do work, and we'll get to that, because that's where the Cummins finally earns its keep. Maintenance is expensive, but understand what you're buying. Oil capacity is around 12 quarts, so an oil change runs over $100 every time. 2 fuel filters, DEF fluid, the DPF and the emissions upkeep every modern diesel carries. But the engine itself, a forged inline-6, is the toughest thing in this entire comparison. These routinely run past 400,000 miles. I've had them on my bench at high mileage with bottom ends I'd put back in service without a second thought. You are not buying a lifter job with a Cummins. You're buying decades. An oil change runs over $100 every time just on volume, plus 2 fuel filters, plus the DEF and the DPF upkeep every modern diesel carries. It's real money at every interval. But here's what that spending buys you that the EcoDiesels doesn't. A bottom end that simply does not quit. A forged inline-6 that runs past 400,000 miles as a matter of routine. You're not setting money aside for an engine failure, because it isn't coming. You're paying to maintain a motor that'll outlast the body around it. Here's the important part, and it's the thing most owners get backwards. The money on a Cummins does not go into the engine. It goes into the emissions system bolted around it. A turbo actuator failure can run you $4,500. When a DEF sensor fails, it drops you into limp mode until somebody fixes it. You don't get to negotiate with it. Owners describe the emissions system on these as a ticking time bomb, and that's a fair way to put it. On the newer trucks, the CP4 pump risk exists here too. The engine won't quit on you. The plumbing around it will take your money. A turbo actuator failure can run you $4,500, and it'll do it while the truck sits in limp mode holding you hostage. A DEF sensor quits, and you're stranded until it's sorted. Owners will tell you the emissions system is a ticking time bomb, and they're right. But notice where that money goes. It goes to the plumbing bolted around the engine to meet regulations, not to the engine itself. The Cummins doesn't break, its paperwork does. That's a very different kind of bill than a grenaded fuel pump or a wiped cam. But there are 2 things that offset all of it. First, resale. The Cummins holds its value better than anything else in this comparison. So a real chunk of that high buy-in comes back to you the day you sell. Second, capability. If you're actually towing heavy or running huge annual miles, this engine does work the gas truck can't do, day after day, without complaint. The cost is high, but it's earned. For a light-duty commuter who liked the sound at the dealership, you'll never get that premium back, not once. The Cummins holds its value better than anything else in this comparison. So a good chunk of that steep buy-in comes back to you at sale time, which no other engine here can say. And second, capability. If you actually tow heavy, or you run huge annual miles, this engine does the work the gas truck physically can't, and it does it without flinching. For that man, the high cost isn't waste. It's the price of a tool that earns. For the fellow who bought it for the sound and commutes empty, it's the most expensive way to own a truck on this list. So let me add it all up. Not to the exact dollar, Anybody who gives you a number to the penny is selling you something. But close enough to see clearly which engine took the most out of your pocket over 200,000 miles, and which one left the most in it. For the typical owner running normal miles, the 5.7 HEMI cost the least to own to 200,000. Not close, honestly. The low buy-in, thousands ahead before you turn a wheel. Plus pocket change maintenance beat the diesel fuel savings, even with the HEMI drinking the most gas of the three, and even if it needed a lifter job somewhere along the way. That's what got me. I ran it expecting the fuel economy to carry the diesels, and it didn't. Purchase premium plus maintenance is a bigger number than most people ever count. The low buy-in and the pocket change maintenance beat the diesel's fuel savings, even with the HEMI drinking the most gas of the three, and even if it needed a lifter job somewhere along the way. It never asked me for a big check, and big checks are what actually decide real cost. The 3-liter EcoDiesel saved real money at the pump, I'm not taking that away from it, and then spent it right back on maintenance that costs nearly double, while carrying a repair that can bury the whole truck. Great when it wins, brutal when it loses. It's the engine that looks cheapest on a fuel calculator and can turn out the most expensive in real life. Everything rides on whether you get the repair or dodge it. The 6.7 Cummins cost the most to run of the three, no question. But it's the only one here that both refuses to die and holds its resale. So for the man who tows heavy or runs big annual miles, that money is earned, and I'd tell him to buy it without hesitation. For everybody else, it's an expensive way to own a truck. The clear winner on pure real cost for most of you watching, the HEMI. The honest asterisk, if you tow for a living, the Cummins. And the EcoDiesel is the bet, fine when it goes right, painful when it doesn't. Not because it's fancy, not because it's fast, because it never surprised me with a bill. Predictable is cheap, cheap is predictable. That's the whole lesson. Same truth this channel keeps landing on. The cheapest truck to own isn't the one that sips the least fuel. It's the one whose repairs stay small and whose oil stayed clean. So here's your one thing. Whatever you drive, clean oil on time is the single biggest lever on your real cost. It's the difference between a HEMI that never needs a cam job and one that does, and it's the difference on every engine here. If you want to go deeper on the EcoDiesel and whether to keep yours, watch the Please Do Not Sell Your Ram Unless It Has This Engine video. And for the gas side, watch the one where I compared the 4.7, the 5.7, and the 6.4. Subscribe so the next one finds you. That's it from me. See you in the next one.